some big news. You're gonna hear from us about a month and a half.
Right. Yeah, we definitely got to.
Well, there's some hot news out of the NFL. I don't know if you guys are aware that Deion Sanders' son, Shadur Sanders, fell all the way to the fifth round. Now, no
Yeah.
one's heard this yet. This is a hot take.
Oh,
Yes,
nobody's heard
Yeah,
that yet.
nobody knows.
very hot.
Nobody knows.
This is this is what cockiness and arrogance gets you, and I just think it's funny that people were talking about suing the NFL. I'm telling you, man, the
Yeah.
entitlement is crazy. They're gonna
Yeah.
sue somebody for not drafting you. They
So
don't want you. They don't
so
want you. The reasons
so
are irrelevant.
yeah. My thing is that
Hold up.
you
Is
could
this
have a.
recording?
It is.
Oh, okay.
You could have a criminal record. You could have all this and that, and people will still draft you in the first round.
Hmm.
So this whole thing about the arrogance, to me, that's some BS. Quarterbacks are arrogant anyway. NFL players, period, are arrogant. You have to be. You got to be
Yeah,
an
but you have to
A-type
earn that.
personality.
You have
Yeah.
to earn that.
He was
That's the whole point.
he turned around. Well, he was involved with turning around two programs. He was the most accurate quarterback in all of his division. You know what I'm saying? So he did earn some things,
He
but
didn't earn shit. He didn't earn shit
Nas-
because you got to earn it at the
National
highest
championship.
level.
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, look, man. All I'm saying is he did things that other quarterbacks could not do.
You
That
mean like
all other
Johnny
quarter-
Manziel,
like all other
Johnny
quarterbacks
Manziel,
could not do.
Jamarcus Russell, Tim Couch?
Yeah, but they're
I
not.
mean,
They're
how
not.
many teams?
These folks are
How
not in
many
the same
teams
draft.
blew first round picks on piss poor quarterbacks? Now, I don't know if Shadur Sanders is going to be a great quarterback or not. Hell, Tom Brady was what, a 6th round pick? Best quarterback to ever play the game? Go out and earn it. I mean, if he wants it, go get it.
And listen,
You know?
listen. I got news for you. If you have a criminal record, that means you did something stupid one time, right? It doesn't define your whole character of who you are in this moment. But if this guy, again, I don't know anything about him, but I can just imagine again, he's a young guy. So if he's got his father in his mind, he's the guy, and any place he goes, they better be happy that they got him. I'm telling you, man, that's a different kind of arrogance, and it's not earned. Like I remember, I think it was Michael Jordan. I'm pretty sure it was. He was saying that in his time, you had to earn anything that you got, right? You got kids now, they get paid before they play a game, so they're not as hungry, and so this all plays a part in the whole earning something, earning it, and whether he earned it at a collegiate level, nobody gives a crap about that. You got to earn it in the NFL.
Yeah, but you can't say that they're getting paid at the collegiate level and be like that doesn't matter because it does.
Huh?
The stuff that they do in the collegiate level with the NIL, talking about they getting paid, that
No, I'm not
stuff.
talking about them getting paid.
Well,
I was really
that was
I was talking about the NBA. I'm sorry.
right.
I was talking
I
about
got
the
you.
NBA.
Well, just in general though, when we're talking about college athletes transitioning into professional athletes, all of that stuff matters because that's how they got there. So if you have an NIL deal, what that means is that people are coming to see you. You're marketable. You're the marquee person. You're putting butts in seats, and that's what people want: butts and seats.
Yeah.
So that stuff does matter especially if it's somebody that is either just kind of there playing and they get no attention. Then yeah, well, it is what it is. So
You get attention by results. So if you're winning, you're going to get attention.
hey, he was winning.
You don't have to be flashy and talk a lot of crap. And listen, that's one of the biggest differences between the NFL and like Major League Baseball. There's differences, of course, in all of the sports. Basketball too. Basketball is really doing poorly now in the ratings, and it's just the game is just unwatchable. I know you love it, Finesse.
Uh, look, I tell my son all the time because he's trying to figure out this gather step thing, and with the NBA. So basically, the NBA players they take 3 steps in order to
Yeah.
shoot. And I keep telling him, I'm like, it's a travel. It is.
Yeah.
It's just a travel. They can
Yeah,
call it what you want to call it, but it's a travel. So
I don't know why they bother dribbling the ball anymore. They may as well just
you just
walk
run
up and down the
around.
court. Why dribble? What's the point?
Yeah.
If they don't
And
call
I,
traveling.
and here's something that me and Chris was talking about the other day.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's about women's basketball. So
oh,
back when the
Oh God.
right, but back when the WNBA had first started up, right, they were talking about the differences that they're going to have. So the women got a smaller ball because on average they are smaller, but they didn't reduce the rim height. And I was telling her, I was like, I just don't understand, right? Because if on average women are just shorter, it just is what it is. And when you go to a WNBA game or you're watching one, it's nothing but layups and jump shots. That's not exciting, at least not to me. If you're dunking on somebody, getting in somebody's face, that's where the excitement comes in. It doesn't happen every time down the court, but when it does, people start getting up, people start yelling, no, those types of things. So I think that a WNBA just made a mistake right off the jump without lowering the rim to just an average height with the women like they do with the men. So I think they've cut themselves short
did you see the
a lot of
interview?
revenue.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
The problem with the WNBA and a lot of women's sports is that I don't think most men want to see women playing men's sports. I don't have a problem with women's sports with women playing women's sports, but basketball is a physical game. Football is a physical game, and women aren't physical like that. So I mean, who wants to see that? I mean, part of what makes the NBA exciting is what used to be exciting about the NBA is it was physical. I mean,
Yeah.
you went to the hoop, you were going to get hurt. you know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I've
now everybody's shooting threes, and hell, they may as well all play the WNBA together. I mean, it's all the same. They don't dribble. All they do is shoot, stand on a perimeter and shoot.
yeah, I mean, I've watched the WNBA games. I'm not going to say they're not physical because them girls be going at it. Even at the collegiate level, they be going at it. But the game, both the male and the female, they kind of modeled themselves after the European style basketball. So that's why you see a
Yeah,
lot of that.
it's soft.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I understand. It doesn't matter how it does. It really doesn't matter. To Mike's point, it really doesn't matter how physical the females get. That's not appealing to me as a man to watch women getting rough. But you know what?
hmm
Did you see the interview that Shaq did? And he basically said, "I tell you right now how you increase ratings in WNBA, lower the rim." And the arrogant current WNBA veteran players were offended by that.
Right,
Like they were
right.
offended. It's just stupid. You got a smaller ball. That's okay with you. Why wouldn't you want a shorter rim?
Yeah,
It just it's almost like no matter what you tell them is the problem, they want to fight it. It's like they're the only ones that don't see it. They're the only ones that don't see that they've been non-profitable for the entire existence of the WNBA. And they got the nerve to say they want more money. How could
right,
you want more money if you're not making any money?
right, right. I agree.
Don't
I,
get me
I,
don't
I
get me
mean,
started on that.
I think they should lower the rim and bring a little bit more excitement into the game. I think that would help them more than it would hurt them. And I understand their argument. Their argument is that they grew up high school element, all the way up on the same size rim, and now you're talking about lowering it. But I just think, from a business standpoint, that would be the best decision to lower the WNBA rim, lower the rim for women's sports just across the board. So that you can have that excitement, so you can have the women dunking. Because right now, I think there's only like 2 or 3 women that can dunk.
But
Crazy.
think about it this way. Think about it this way. Even if they could dunk, how many of them can palm the ball?
That I
Because
don't know.
otherwise, every dunk is a two-handed dunk for the most part. And that's just not as exciting as watching Jordan kissing the rim. Boom! You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I
never going to
mean,
be the same. It's not going to be the same. Women don't even watch women play basketball. But that's the biggest thing. They talk about that all the time. Women don't even support women because they don't want to see it. It's boring. It's
well, I
boring.
could understand
It's
that
like watching.
women.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, you
I was
guys are
gonna
so
say,
nice to each other.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's like men or women women want to watch the men, right? And the
Yeah.
guys want to watch the guys. but I still see because I enjoy watching women's basketball, but I can only do so much just because it's all just layups and 3s, right? Because there'll be a fast break and everybody's excited, like, oh, they stole the ball by herself, and then it's just a layup, and you're like, oh well, okay,
That's why.
change the channel.
You know, it's funny you should say that. That's why I enjoy watching Caitlin Clark play so much. It's not just the long shots.
Yeah,
It's the IQ of basketball, her handle, like everything she does flows. It looks smooth. Everybody else looks like they're just fumbling. So this other chick, Reese, what's her name? That like there's some debate that who's best. It's like it's not even close. It's not even close. Who's a better basketball player? If we had a conversation on who had the least amount of class, then yeah, that's easy. It's Reese.
well, I
But
just
as far
think
as a basketball player,
I just think the media just blew it up too much, right? Because, and I understand why the women were kind of against. What was her name again?
Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark.
Reese.
Right? Caitlin Clark. So
I don't
so
understand.
it's just no. It's
I don't
just
understand
like,
that.
It's just like the men's side, right? Like what Jordan is talking about. These people haven't earned anything, and they're coming into the league, and the media and everybody's just all on top of them, right?
Totally different.
That's
Totally
the-
different.
That's exactly what he was talking about.
They
No,
were
but no, it's
trying to
not.
kill Caitlin Clark last
No,
year. Some
because
of the
no, because
flagrant fouls against her.
Yeah, I
don't
get
even
all
know.
that, but I'm
that,
talking
that should
about
have
what-
been assault.
I'm talking about the way the media treated Caitlin Clark when she first came in. First of all, she was supposed to be the savior of the WNBA and all this,
And
this,
she
and that, and the other,
is.
right?
She is.
But when they were looking at what she'd done as a rookie, it didn't even compare to what like Sue Bird and all these other women that came before her did
Who?
when they were rookies, right?
Exactly. Who?
Hey, all I'm saying
Are
is
you making that up?
no. And then you got the one Italian, the Italian girl. I can't think of her name right now, but there was a
know who you're
lot of
talking about.
women. Yeah, there was a lot. Tarasi, I think. There was
Yeah.
a lot of women that did way better than what she did as a rookie when they came in as a rookie. But
Doesn't
when
matter.
she came in, she's getting all this attention. But that's what I'm saying. But that's exactly what Jordan is talking about when they're talking about like LeBron. When LeBron came in, he's the king. You know, this, that, and the other. They didn't earn anything, but the media is just attaching themselves to it in that regard, right? So
But
I can
LeBron is the
understand-
king.
Well, hey,
He's the king of flopping. Nobody flops like LeBron.
yeah.
No one is more overrated than LeBron. So no, you're right. He's the king.
Look at this.
So here's the
Look.
difference. When you're talking about Tarazi, or whatever her name is, you're talking about what she did during the games and you know how well she did playing. But none of that catapulted the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, just her coming into the building, the people are buying tickets. Just her being in
Yep.
the WNBA, now they have chartered flights. So I mean, she has had a huge impact on the WNBA. So, and on top of that, she plays well. So it's not just like it was hype and nothing ever came of it.
Yeah.
You mean like
It's a
Bronny?
shame. Huh? Like Bronny?
You mean like Bronny? First round
So it
pick.
doesn't- listen,
LA Lakers.
at the end of the day-
Bronny was not a first round pick. He
He
like
wasn't?
100 he was 155th or something.
No, that was Shadur Sanders, wasn't it?
No,
I thought Bronny went
no,
the first round.
No, Bronny went late.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was a first round pick.
Yeah, no,
It
no.
doesn't matter. He didn't deserve that either.
I think he was like a 5th or 6th, something like that. He was down pretty far.
Anyway, are you skipping the intro? Or are you just
No,
throwing it
no,
in
we
there?
were 15 minutes in, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the intro going here.
This is what happens. This is why we can't go fucking 3 weeks without doing this shit, because then we just got so much to talk about. It's a
That's
4-hour
it.
show.
Oh man, hey everybody, welcome to Splitting Lanes. We have endless topics or we have endless discussions where every topic takes a turn. So we've already been on the screen, but let's introduce the guys anyways. So we're gonna put them back here on the screen. We've got Robert Simmons from Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle.
What's going on? Do that intro over, man. That was terrible.
No, it's staying, man. It's staying. It's all natural, man. We're doing it. And then we also have Q, the rider from Riding and Wrenching. Really, that's what you're gonna do? Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
And
Oh
We're
yeah.
starting right away.
Yeah, hey, look, we got to start over.
Right
Yeah,
away.
I agree. We got to start it now.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
so today we don't have any specific topics. We do have some things that we want to get through. And yes, I know we have not put a video out in a while. However, all three of us are in the same state, so you think it would be easy, but I think it's gotten actually a little bit harder. But that's just due to everybody's schedules. It's summertime. It's riding season.
Is it summertime?
Yeah, oh gosh, man, it's hot
it's
outside, so
Not
it's riding.
summertime.
It's hot out. Hey, the sun's out, bike's out. All right, so that's what.
Listen, I'm gonna warn you guys. We haven't done this in a while, like Finesse has said. So, with that being said, good luck on this video being a short one because we got a lot to talk about. Right? We clearly miss each other.
Oh look,
No
look,
doubt about it.
look at that! I already was in the wrong camera, man. Golly.
It's okay. Listen, this is what happens when you don't do it in a while. You know.
Yep.
So, but listen, we appreciate you guys checking out another one of our videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and if you haven't watched the other videos, go back and watch 1, 2, and then we started adding names to them instead of just calling them episode 1, episode 2. That was corny.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess we'll just start off. We
Hold up.
Oh.
Where you even start off, man? Q, I started to ask, have you been consuming any intoxicants? And there it is. He's doing it on camera. Unbelievable. This is why. So Q just moved into a new house, and Vanessa and I went by there. Beautiful house. Took us 45 minutes to get to the house. Not from my house, from the gate.
Go
to get into
faster.
the community.
Go
From the gate
faster.
to get into the community. That's what took 45 minutes.
Go faster.
But beautiful house, and he's now in the process of changing light switches, right?
Light switches. That is correct.
How we doing on
Light
that?
switches. I'm coming along. About 80% through with it. Got most of the downstairs done.
Okay.
Trying to make it happen. But before we go on here, now on the day that they came over, so they pull up into my driveway, and then we decide to go riding. And I just want to tell you guys, now you may not be aware of this.
Here we go.
I am not the trash talker of the group. It is
What?
not me. I am not the trash talker of the group. It is the guy to the far left. Trust me.
I'm dying to
Now, I
hear
just got to
this.
tell you, that's the first time that I've gone riding with him on the ST, and oh my God, that bike is so damn fast. It's fast and loud. Then Finesse is out. We're in the parking lot, and Finesse is busting out some U-turns and figure eights, and man, we're going to have a good time being out here. So I just look forward to some
Hey,
good
so
stuff.
what
But
I
I
told-
want to stand firm. I am not the trash talker of the group. There's one that talks more trash than I do. He's just quiet about it. Don't let him
Hold
fool
up.
you.
He is not quiet about it.
If you're gonna make a statement like that, you have to tell us what you're talking about specifically. What trash was I talking?
You talk trash about everything. You just a lot more quiet
Oh.
about it.
I need specifics. Are you talking about me talking trash about you inviting us into your new beautiful home and not taking the dishes out of the sink?
He talked trash about the hangers in my closet.
Oh,
He hasn't even seen my new light switch work yet, and he's talking trash about my light switches.
no.
What else? I mean, do I need to keep going?
All right, hold on. All right, let's get the comment section involved here. Guys, now you haven't seen this house, but I don't give a damn at this point how your house looks. But if it's a beautiful, beautiful house, subjectively speaking, but most people would agree, should there be wire hangers exclusively in that closet? No. I agree. His wife agrees. His wife doesn't have wire hangers on her side of the closet. He has them. It's terrible. Terrible.
My
Go
My
ahead.
wire hangers are beyond adequate for my super nice Harley shirts. The ones that aren't as nice, I fold up and stick in a drawer. My wire hangers are fine.
I can't even. I'd have to. It has to have been decades since I used wire hangers. If I get a wire hanger, it came from the cleaners. and it's immediately disposed of. Like I would never think, let me put this in my closet, and there, yeah, it looks nice. Now, as far
Okay,
as the
now
light
I'm also,
switches,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead, go
Well, I
ahead.
want to continue off my snitching here.
Uh,
I will also say that, oh, dang it. Oh, so there's certain, I'm not going to call out anybody's name that's on this call, but
mhm.
Robert Simmons posted a picture. He ran his dishwasher with one dish in it.
Oh,
Explain yourself, sir.
yeah,
No, it wasn't one dish. It was
yeah,
three.
Okay, it was a
it was
dish
like
and
some,
a
it was like
fork.
some tongs. It wasn't even a dish.
Oh, okay. I understand. I remember now.
Uh,
We were talking about wanting one sink or two sinks that in the kitchen. And I was saying I prefer one big sink. I think Finesse said he preferred the same thing.
yeah.
And then Mike said I prefer to have that divided sink. And we were trying to figure out why. And he was like, well, just in case you want to wash dishes. And I was like, I don't understand. Why? Just put it in the dishwasher. He's like, he said, well, what if you only have like a few dishes? I said, well, then you press the quick wash button. I was gonna send you guys another video last night. Last night, I put 3 dishes in the dishwasher. There were other dishes in the dishwasher. I assumed they were dirty, and then I realized, oh, Anita never took those dishes out. So,
Uh,
what do you think I did?
you washed them again.
He closed
Let me give you the
door.
mic. The
He
mic
closed,
pose.
he closed the door.
What do you think I did?
He closed the door. Went to his gym.
No, I closed the door and I washed it. So they took another round. They got washed again along with the new ones. Listen, it's called a dishwasher for a reason. I'm not gonna buy a dishwasher. You got a washing machine too. You're gonna be washing your clothes on a washboard if it's only one article of clothing? No, put it in the washing machine.
No, no,
Hey,
it goes into the hamper.
We must have some elves or something in this house because I go to bed and there's dishes in the sink. I wake up and they're all clean. So I don't know.
Well, dang.
It's not elves. It's called family.
Yeah.
And then with the light switches, guys in the comment section, you just listen. Put a 1 if you agree. I'm sorry. Put a 1 for screws. Put a 2 for screwless.
What?
I'm referring to plate covers on his light switches.
They're not gonna put
And
a
the
one.
outlets
We're
for that
not
matter.
live. They're not gonna put a one. Just put screwless.
No. It doesn't matter what they put. Yeah, you're right. Screws or screwless. You're right. We're not live yet. We're gonna do it one day.
One day. Hey, look, I'm all for it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, man. So I suggested to Mike, if you're changing he's actually changing the whole switch from the little toggle ones to the larger ones. So I said, then you may as well change the plate covers and do the screwless ones. They look so much better. In my opinion, it fits his house more. What do you guys think? Do you have screws showing? And I'm going to assume if you have screws showing, it's just because you never thought about or even saw how it would look screwless. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Especially with the big toggles.
I just make
And-
sure the
ahead.
switches are the same color. That's it. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they look like. As long as they're the same color, man.
I can't believe that's coming from Finesse, the guy that's so like me and like Mike. I guess we're particular in things that different
That you
things.
care
It
about.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For instance, if I come to your house right now, Finesse, I'm going to assume that you have screws showing on your outlets and light switches, correct?
On the ones that have covers, yep.
Oh God!
Wait a minute. So
All right. So
Well, hold on. Let me preface this by I redid the kitchen. I did the backsplash tile and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was probably like, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. But I have this
are you
right
gonna
here.
are you gonna tell me that the kitchen is still has plate covers uncovered?
You see this?
If a man says he will fix it, he will. There is no need to remind him every 6 months about this.
Exactly.
You're damn right.
Exactly. hey, and you see, I keep it hidden in here.
That's not referring to a retired man. That's a man with a job that's doing stuff on the weekend.
Negative, sir. The sign says man.
Now,
It applies.
now, the last thing that I want to share, and I got to give a shout out to my boy Oscar, Mr. Finesse here, because he came all the way down here to Richmond Hill and helped me move my wife's Peloton treadmill upstairs. How much do you think it weighed, Finesse? How much? How heavy was that thing?
250.
And you can send
250,
you
maybe
can send me
three.
send me the hospital bill. Back replacement.
250. Hey, you know what?
Because
You
he
know what,
helped me.
Mike? We could have used an extra person. Just one extra
We could
person
have.
would have made the job so
I
much
wish you would have
easier.
waited for me.
Much easier.
I wish
Much
you. I
easier.
wish you would have waited for me. However, if I'm thinking about Mike's staircase, a third person. Really not
Finesse,
gonna
go
help
ahead
you
and
there.
cue the sad music. Here. Cue the sad music. Okay, go ahead, Rob.
A third person is not going to help you.
Hold on. Here we go. What was that again? What was that?
I'm saying, if I'm thinking about the width of Mike's staircase, a third person wasn't going to help. You know, you just needed to get Mike's ass out of there so you could have two strong people do it. That's what you needed to do.
That might have helped.
Hey, look. Hey, I
You should have
made,
waited for me, man.
I
You
made
should've
sure to
waited
give
for me.
Mike the heavy side. I was like, hey, you got the heavy end, man.
Yeah, he did.
That's messed up, man.
Hey, I'm helping him out, man. I'm helping him out.
He helping me, and I am
40-something-year-old ass
grateful.
on the heavy side. Come on,
That
man.
thing would still be sitting in the garage.
That's
Well, you know what?
ridiculous.
It's done now. I offered. I told Mike, again about the switch covers, and I said, he said, I don't want to start all over. I said, dude, go get the covers. I'll come over and help you do them. I ain't hear nothing back from him.
He was in
No.
the process of taking his nap.
This guy take more naps than a toddler, man. I'm telling you.
And
Get a little box juice. And,
I am retired. I'm not on the clock. I wake up when I want, and I go to sleep when I want. So
I've been retired since 2017. Finesse since 2016, I think.
yep.
And I've probably taken 6 naps in 8 years.
Nah, hey,
I took 3 today.
my first.
Oh, damn.
I think my first 4 months on retirement, I was napping religiously, like 2 or 3 times a day. It just happened.
Oh yeah.
It just happened,
Yeah.
man.
Well, that's because here's the difference. The difference is you still got to get up early because you got kids you got to get to school and all this other stuff. So that's the difference. I don't know what the hell's going on with Mike, man.
Yeah, you say you wake up at like 4 o'clock, don't you? Is that what you said?
Yep.
30 years.
I sure do.
Don't make no sense.
You're right.
I sure
You're right.
do.
I forgot about that.
I
Oh,
sure do.
speaking of which, you said Finesse was out there making U-turns. He wasn't making U-turns on that Pursuit. What were you making U-turns on?
So, if you guys have been on my main channel, or my channel, I guess, you'll see that
What
I
is your
picked
main
up-
channel?
it's,
What's your main channel?
Man, why you look, man? See, we're gonna rewind all this. I don't want all that in there. You know what I'm talking about? Dang it! So, if you've been following me on Finesse the Challenge, I'm gonna keep it in there. If you follow me on Finesse the Challenge, if you're subscribed to that channel, you got your notifications on there. You will see that I recently purchased a 2025 Indian motorcycle Challenger with the 112 and the upgraded audio.
Yeah, man. Now, what made you go back to the Challenger?
So, the type of riding that I
Oh, I just thought about it. You know what, Mike? He think he's slick. It all makes sense. For maybe a year now, I've been telling him you can't call your channel Finesse the Challenger because you got a Pursuit. And he went back to a
yes,
Challenger.
right. You need to change the name.
No.
Now you Finesse the Challenger
No.
again.
What had happened was is that the type of riding that I thought I was doing was not the type of riding that I was actually doing. So to have all of that stuff that I, didn't really need, it just didn't make sense. Plus, every time I got on the wife's Challenger, I missed my Challenger. So,
What kind of riding? What kind of riding are we talking about? Hooligan riding?
5 hours ish? Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Do it on either one, but you could do that on either bike. I don't understand.
Yeah. But anyways, when the
Uh-huh.
when they announced the 112, I like knew then I was gonna go back to a 112. So,
Yeah.
or to the Challenger rather.
Yeah.
But it's I mean it's a great bike. I finally got the break in done, and of course in true finesse fashion, something happened. Okay. Matter of fact, I was getting ready to help somebody out picking up their new bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right here, this guy here to be talking all the smack. So,
Talking all the smack.
what was that?
What talking all the smack?
You the low key trash talker according to Q.
Oh no, not
Yeah,
low key.
I'm glad you said according to Q. Just to show you, he will never be outdone. I said to him, I mentioned something about, the next time him and Iris come over to the house, we're gonna kick their ass in spades again.
Oh, see,
And
yeah, play that back.
his response,
with the
his
puppy
response
nose?
is, "You only won, it was only one game," and I was like, "The Super Bowl's only one game." Like I don't know why you keep saying that to me. You lost.
Trash talking.
There's only one game.
Trash talking.
So he said to me, "I don't care if I lose every time. I will always trash talk." Now that's the king of trash talk.
Well, no, that is true. That is true. That part is quite true. But Mister, leave your ego on the curb. That only
Yeah.
applies in the practice parking lot.
That's
Once
right.
you leave the practice parking lot, put your ego back on and put your feelings on the curb, lest you want your feelings stomped on.
But we came up with a good deal. We
Oh,
came up with a
dude.
good deal. Mike came up with it actually. It's going to be a home field advantage thing. So right now, him and Iris have to come here to play because this is the last place they lost. The winner always has home advantage. So when and if they ever win a game or series of games, I should say, then the next time we play, we have to, pack our luggage and go there.
Yeah, you right. You gotta pack. That's a trip. That's a day trip right there. God,
Listen, it's closer to Memphis. It's closer to Memphis.
yeah.
That's closer than Memphis. Yeah.
Man.
And of course, we're being
Yeah.
sarcastic. Mike's about 35 minutes away. It's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. What the heck?
45.
Shit. Man, that's work, man. Golly. I gotta make sure
So
I
what
got
happened?
Well, it's
gas.
35 minutes. It's 35 minutes if Rob is on his bike because the speed limit signs, they're just suggestions. In fact, I mean, are you getting the speed limit sign and that I-95 sign confused?
No. So
Oh, 95. Oh, the speed limit's 95. Let's go.
I don't know what he listen. I don't know what he's talking about, man.
Oh,
Any
oh my
speed,
God.
any speed I ever go, Mike is right there. Remember, guys, if just please, if you are a splitting lanes watcher, you probably remember a time when Q here was telling Finesse that his little road king could keep up easily with the Indian pursuit. And it didn't matter how fast Finesse said he was going. Mike said, I can stay with you. So he stays with,
Yeah.
he stays with us as
Well,
long
no,
as he
I said I
could.
could stay with finesse. Now that beast that you have, I think I would need a Hayabusa or something to keep up with you on that thing.
I think you need to ride his bike so you can see how fast that bike is.
Oh, I know
Remember,
it's
he was,
fast. I mean, I was watching them. The new one. I mean, I was impressed. I was impressed by the Indian 112. It looks good, it sounds good, and it's fast. There, I said it. That don't mean I'm gonna get walked though.
well, the good thing about
Now,
both of our
Robert's
bikes,
bike, on the other hand, I would save my gas. I'm not twisting the throttle. I'll catch up with him when I catch up with him.
But that's the thing. My bike was keeping up with his bike.
nah, because
No,
that's only
no, he
whoa.
walked both of us, dude.
That's
No,
only
no.
because he was breaking his bike in,
Right.
so he couldn't really get it past 3,000 RPMs.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me that your 112 you're gonna keep up with Rob on his bike?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't believe it. We'll see.
He said, I don't
No,
believe
you
it.
won't see it because you're going to just watch Robert just pulling away like what happened a couple days ago.
Well, before we were going
Because he's
somewhere.
pulling away. All I was sitting back there going, damn.
No, we were going somewhere, and I
I don't
got
know
on
where
a
the hell
little
we
bit,
were.
but it wasn't for long. I got on and then I got off, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen anyway because my bike is governed higher than his.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Doesn't
Well,
matter.
okay, here's the other insider secret that I'm going to give you guys. And this is really not a secret. And this time it's about Oscar. Oscar is, in fact, a gentleman. He's a very nice guy. I suspect
Yeah.
that if Oscar could, had the fastest bike on planet Earth, I just don't have the impression that he's going to try to beat the crap out of somebody. Robert, on the other hand, he would do it and laugh.
You don't be knowing, man. You don't be knowing.
Until I'm proven wrong, Oscar's a gentleman.
Is that what it is?
God,
Oscar's a
Man, look.
gentleman.
you are just misinformed, sir. That's all it
I don't know what he's talking about.
is. You're not misinformed that he's a gentleman because he is a gentleman. But you are misinformed if you think that he ain't gonna. If he get a chance, trust me. Especially if you're riding a Harley, he's dying to do it. I'm gonna tell you a perfect example of why I know this. I remember I said we were going somewhere, and Oscar knew where the hell we were going, and still didn't want to take the lead. And what he told me is, I don't like taking the lead. But lately, especially with the new bike, he always seems to be in the front now. There's a reason for that. Because he wants to get into that throttle. He want to see if he can find, separate space between the two. So
Hey,
gentlemen, this ain't got nothing to do with being
I
a
can neither
gentleman.
confirm nor deny these accusations that have been laid in front of me.
This has nothing to do with being a gentleman. It's just a matter of open up your bike and have fun with it. I will say I'm definitely enjoying that ST, man. It's safe in the garage, definitely. The more stuff I put in it, the more safe it is. But Finesse, what happened with you, man? You said something happened.
Yes. So me and Rob were on our way to pick up his bike. I was on my bike. Him and Anita were in the car, and we're getting up to. We're on Jimmy DeLoach's. You know where Jimmy DeLoach's, Mike, right? All right. So we're on a road.
just
I've
moved
heard
it.
of it.
So we're on a road, and up ahead there's an overpass, and before you get to the overpass, there's a traffic circle. So I'm on my bike. I'm going up. I get to the traffic circle. I start going right, then I lean left. As soon as I lean left, there's this stuff all over the road. I don't know what it came from, how it got there, but there's a lot of construction on that road, so I would assume that it would come from one of those construction trucks. But either way, as soon as I hit this substance, I lose all traction. The bike goes down, and the stuff is so slick because at this point I'm on my back, and the bike is around. I spin all the way around like a 180 almost, I think. And I'm on my back sliding, maybe like 10, 15 feet? Something like that.
You talking about after the bike hit the ground or as it slid across the ground?
When I was sliding.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it was way more than 10 feet. Way more
Was
than
it?
10 feet.
but
30 feet.
Yeah, so the entire time I'm sliding, I'm on my back. And when I get up, the only thing that's messed up is my jeans have a rip in the pocket, and I got like a little scratch on my elbow. Like, that's how slick the ground was. That I'm sliding on my back, and I got no road rash, nothing whatsoever. And matter of fact, for a short while there, I was pushing the bike up to keep it off the ground, which is weird. But anyways, I went down. I just got a few scratches on the bike, so nothing crazy. As a matter of fact, I've already ordered parts for it, which I'm doing a video on my channel about it. And I got all the parts. I just got to put the stuff on there. So yeah, it was interesting. Now, keep in mind though, this entire time that I'm down, my feet are still on the floorboards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Never put a foot down. Never
Yeah.
put a foot
Oh,
down.
really? Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you fell off the bike. Oh, okay.
So I was
that's
still,
good.
yeah, I was still holding on to the handlebars actually, which is kind of weird because, like I said, when I started to slow down, the bike started coming up on top of me, so I had to push it off and kind of pick it up a little bit, and then that's right around where I stopped. So,
Man.
Yeah, so that's the only reason his Farron got scratched,
Yeah.
and the bag, because he held on to the bike, so he kind of pulled it down with him, and he was like this.
Yeah.
So me being behind. By the way, the substance he's talking about is called mud, MUD.
Nah, it was something more than that. It was
No, it was
slick.
mud.
No,
was
because
mud.
remember the officer was saying, he was like, it feels oily. Like it was. I'm telling you, this stuff was the slickest substance you could ever find.
The officer said to me, it's mud. It was mud.
Yeah.
Because if it was something with substance in it, when it dried, the substance would still be slippery, and it wasn't. Whenever it was dried, it was totally grippy. So it was really mud. Trust me, I was in denial too, because I watched this whole thing. Anita and I watched this whole thing. Anita's screaming, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And I'm in real time. I'm saying he's okay. He's okay. I'm watching him sliding. He's okay. He's okay. And then I'm like, the bike's not. It's still sliding. So when the bike finally came to rest, all I saw is the bike, and I didn't see Finesse. And I'm still telling her he's okay. Then I'm wondering if he's okay, because I don't see his head. He ain't getting up. So he was just laying there thinking about what happened. I don't know what the hell. Now at the time, I gotta say, at the time I'm annoyed because I don't know what the hell happened. And it wasn't until I got out of the car and asked him what the hell happened. And when he told me and I looked back on the ground, that's when I see it. Like it was like, it's mud, the ground's black. So it was kind of like blended in. Once you know it's there, you can see it. But I didn't see it.
Wow.
And when I went like this with my foot, it was so slippery. Even I thought it was something different. But the cop was like, no, it's mud. This happens all the time. And it just so happens that truck got off the highway. You could tell where it stopped because it was big pools of it.
Yeah.
And then it just happened to go around a damn traffic circle. And I told Finesse, the person that never wants to lead, if him and I were riding the Harley Davidson or Indian, that would have been both of us on the ground. Because
100%.
I would have been in the front, and we kind of ride like we always ride, all three of us. We ride close together. That would have been boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I do give him credit. I don't know if it's because he froze up or what, but those feet stayed on that footboard, man.
Man, that's impressive, because I'm telling you that's my last drop. Yeah, I got hurt. My thumb is still healing.
Really?
You know.
Damn.
Yeah. It's getting there, but no, it's still healing, because my fingernail hasn't grown back yet completely.
Dang.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the
oh,
one
yeah,
where you hit
yeah.
that cone? Is that what you're talking about? When you hit that cone?
Yeah, I
it
hit the
doesn't
cone, and the bike
Yeah.
slid out from under me, and I stuck my foot down like a jackass, and down I went. But then
Well,
my
not
hand,
like a
my
jackass.
thumb. No, it was
Not
like
like
a
a
jackass.
jackass.
No,
No,
like a
come on.
jackass. Oh,
You
no.
listen.
I-
You asked a valid question. You said, and it was a
how
really
do you
good
train?
question too.
Yeah,
Yeah, how do you train for that?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I feel like the first time I did it, once I realized that my feet are safer there. See, I almost broke my foot, so it didn't. That was enough for me. Keep my damn feet.
Yeah.
But once I saw somebody do that and the bike just slide, me putting my foot down is not even a thought anymore. I'm just gonna ride it out. Did you see my drop in North Carolina? That practice session?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's so funny when that happened. That's why I was so happy that Stacy recorded that, because it made me realize, wow, it's not even a thought to put my foot out. Just ride it out.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad Finesse is okay.
Yeah.
It was scary because, like I said, I didn't see his damn head getting up. And all I saw in his face was annoyance. Like, he was pissed. I could see. But because he's a gentleman.
Well, but
now,
okay,
look. Oh yeah.
but here's my question, Oscar. So, so you went down, you stayed on a bike, but what gear were you wearing?
So I
Like, were you
had-
wearing a short sleeve, long sleeve? Did you have on a riding jacket?
No, I
You
had
know,
t-shirt and
were they
jeans.
regular jeans? So a short sleeve T-shirt,
Yep.
and you wear a 3/4 or half helmet or full helmet? What
It
would
was a
you
half
wear?
helmet.
Half
So
helmet, and
I
just,
had my gloves, had my helmet on, t-shirt, jeans, and my riding boots. Right.
okay.
So the shirt had a few, the shirt had a few little holes in it because they were under the jeans, and then the jeans had the hole in it because of my wallet, and there's like a metal piece on the end of my wallet, and that punched through the jeans. But other than
Right.
that, like the helmet, there's no scratches or marks on the helmet, none of that. So I will say, I wasn't panicked when I started going left, and then all I heard was the bang, or not a bang, but I heard the bike hit the ground. I was thinking to myself, I was like, what did I hit? Like, what happened? I didn't do anything. I wasn't on the
Yeah.
throttle. I wasn't going like crazy fast or anything.
Right.
And then as I'm sliding, I'm like, okay, well, now the bike's coming up, so I got to pick up the bike. So the whole time I'm sitting there thinking about all of this. And then once I stop, I'm still trying to, which is why Rob was saying I didn't get up.
Process it. Yeah.
I was still trying. I was like, well, what happened? Like, what did I hit? And when I turned my head after I was laying on the ground, I was like, what the crap is all that? So
Yeah.
and I've been babying that bike since I had it. I did the break-in process,
Yeah.
like Rob was saying. He's like,
Right.
yeah, I don't see how you got that kind of control.
Yeah.
I'd be on it. But I do my process. Everything. And didn't do any mods. I'm babying the bike, and then because somebody spilled stuff all over the ground, now I got to go and fix stuff. So that
But
really what
I
had
guess
me annoyed.
I guess my point, and I'm amazed just sitting here hearing this story for the first time, but in spite of the fact that you did not have all the gear on, the thing that kept you from getting seriously injured was keeping your feet on the floorboards,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, because if you had fallen off the bike or let go or panicked or done a cue the rider and stuck your foot down, you would have been sliding on the ground behind the bike
yeah,
with a t-shirt and jeans on, and you would have got hurt much worse than what you did. So that keeping your feet on a floorboard is just so freaking important. It's not going to save you in every kind of accident that there's going to be, but the type of minor accident that you had there, yeah, it kept you from getting hurt.
yeah,
Yeah,
So that's,
yeah.
I mean, it's just so important. And so in my mind, I'm like, man, how am I going to train myself to do that? Because I feel like every time I have that uh-oh moment where something's going to happen, human nature kicks in, because if you throw a cat up in the air, they're going to stick his hands out. That's
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Stick my feet out.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing that you can do. And it doesn't matter how much gear you have on. Once you put your foot down, you're amplifying whatever injuries you're going to get. You have all the gear on you want. You're going down, you're going to go down hard, and it's going to hurt.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, if I had done in my last spill, if I had done what you did, Oscar, I wouldn't have a jacked up thumb right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've
And
just
he
got to think about it.
aggressively,
I don't know. I don't know how to train for that. I don't know. It's just a mental
and
thing,
he
I guess.
aggressively leaned the bike in that turn, as all of us would have done. But it was so
Right.
slippery. Even if he leaned slightly, he was going down. Period.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that kind of fault. The other thing is, it's a huge testament to the kind of motorcycles that we ride. If he's on a sport bike or a soft tail without an engine guard, he's all the way over, all the way over. Now he's on the ground. And so this is why I like touring motorcycles so much with an engine guard. He didn't have his saddlebag guards yet either.
yeah,
That just helps a little bit more as far as the bike,
Right.
But the bike also takes care of you, Yeah, it is what it is. My last practice session I did in California, there was a guy riding a Softail Harley, and I asked him, "What made you?" Actually, I put that video out today, 131. Why did you pick that bike? And he was very candid. He said, "Because it was light." So I told him the next owner's gonna love that bike. I say it all the time. The next owner's gonna love that bike, man, because if that's why you pick a bike, once you actually learn how to ride it, your options start opening up, and now you start looking at these touring motorcycles. Wow, way more to as far as technology and comfort and whatever storage. It just is what it is. That's why I tell people all the time, I'm going to cost you some money one way or another.
It sure will. Sure will. I was a one bike kind of guy.
right. But
Yeah.
that-
So
Yeah.
oh, good.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so we were on our way to pick up Rob's new bike, but obviously I did not go with him to pick it up, so I still haven't seen the bike.
Yeah.
But what'd you grab, Rob?
I grabbed a 2025 CVO Road Glide, beautiful color, Raven Fade. And now it's just time to mod it up, put some stuff on to make, Now on my channel, actually, the video that I put out, there's a little participation from the comment section in there. And it's participation that can get people some compensation. And basically, what I'm asking is, what's the first thing, by the way, you guys are not eligible. What's the first thing?
Dang it.
What's the first thing that I'm going to add to this motorcycle? And I'm going to use the comment section to, to kind of figure that out. Whoever gives me the correct answer first, I'm going to send them $100, Zelle.
Nice.
And then I'm going to ask them what's the second thing, and whoever gets that first, I'm going to send them $75, and then the last one, third, $50. So I think that should be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Also,
work that
if
out.
you are a subscriber to Finesse the Challenger, you can message me for some tips. That's not true. That's not true.
Well, you know what? Right now, if I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or wrong, but right now, if you had to guess, what's the first thing I'm putting on this bike, Finesse?
I haven't seen it, so I don't even know what it comes
Doesn't
with.
matter. Doesn't matter. What the?
What?
You don't know what it comes with. It came with the same thing the other CVO I had, and the one before that, and the one before that.
Motorcycle drop guards. Or a seat.
Okay,
A seat.
Mike.
I'm going to go with tabs.
Okay. These are good guesses. This is why I'm looking forward to looking in that comment section. These are good guesses. And the good thing about these guesses is it's not a matter of just guessing what I'm going to get. It's what I'm going to do in what order. And that's what makes it interesting.
Look at that.
So,
Look at that.
I'm looking forward to see who's going to get. And I know some people are going to guess a million times and just trying to keep putting it because I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of the comment section and go up. But I'm going to make sure that they're subscribed to the channel. At least.
100%.
I was going to do it for just VI preloaders, and I might do that. Nah, it doesn't matter. I'll do it for preloaders.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
excited
awesome,
about
man.
the
I'm
bike.
looking forward to seeing this bike. I've heard about the Raven Fade. Usually, when cars have a fade or an ombre or whatever you want to call it, you can kind of see like there's patterns. There, like patterns in it. So I'm curious to see if they avoided that, or if it has that, how does it look or whatever. So yeah, I'm curious.
Never been the problem on the
good-looking
Harley
bike.
Davidson. Yeah, never been the problem on the Harley Davidson. I always love when they do fade colors for the most part. My 21 CVO Road Glide with that 21-inch wheel, that was a fade color too. It's like orange and blackish or whatever. This one is just very, very, very nice. And it's easier to do a fade on a motorcycle than it is on a car because the car has more surface space.
Yeah.
It's just, so obviously I got to do some certain things to make it more comfortable, make it sound better or whatever. But, this is going to be a bike that I'm going to include Anita on. Right now, the only bike she can get on is Violet because that's what it was purchased for. It's purchased for her. But for this bike, I'm going to make sure it still has 2 seats. And I already have the Wilbur suspension coming, the Nevomat, because that's the best, self-adjusting. And so
It is.
me picking up Angel today and riding that bike home. I don't really ride that bike on the road or the highways. Oh my gosh, but that suspension is just so good, man. It just, I know this is talking to Finesse. This is nothing, but for Harley riders, the suspension is just great. Angel felt great. It's good to have her back. She's so nimble. I can't wait to get her out there and do some stuff. Raven is cool, but Raven ain't Angel.
So actually, we do have a really good topic to talk about. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask Mike a question because everybody's talking about these new bikes and things. You recently went down to the Indian Motorcycle here in Savannah and checked out
I
some
did.
bikes. So what would you come away with?
Well, as soon as you walk in the store, now I'm not familiar with all the Indian models, so I'm probably going to screw this up. Was it a Pursuit or a Challenger? That green one
Pursuit.
that's there.
Pursuit.
That's a Pursuit. That's a good looking bike. I was impressed when I walked in. I'm like, dang, it's really nice. I mean, sometimes pictures don't do justice, to how a bike looks in person, and that's a stunning color that they did
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed by that.
And not only
I gotta
that,
go check it out.
It was
Yeah.
number 2. I'm like, how'd they pull off getting number 2
Right,
out
right.
of however many they made? I'm like, man, I guess somebody likes Savannah Harley Davidson.
Yeah, it was number
I mean,
number 2 of
Savannah
350.
Indian or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah.
Power Sports.
Number
Yeah,
number
it's-
2 of
Yeah, well,
350.
No,
Finesse said, had he known, I think he's FOS, But he said had he known that number 2 was going to be there, he wouldn't have bought his Challenger.
Oh,
Come on
100%.
now.
100%. If
Why?
I'd have known, if
Why?
I'd
Hey,
have
it's
known
still
that-
there.
If I'd have known
It's
number
still there.
2, I don't know. But if I'd have known number 2 was at the dealership, I would have absolutely picked that up. 100%.
Why?
It's still
Why?
there.
Because
Why?
it's number 2. Because it's number 2.
So you just said that's not the kind of riding you want to do, and that's why you went back to a
I'd have
Challenger.
took the tour pack off.
So that's what I'm saying. You could have kept the other pursuit. You could have kept the
Nah,
other pursuit.
man. If it was number 2, I absolutely would have. Because usually the low numbered bikes go to people at corporate. You know, they'll have first dibs, usually 1 through 5.
So this goes back to what we talked about a while ago when I was talking to you, Finesse, about exclusivity and how people will always want exclusivity.
100%.
And so here we are with a motorcycle. Number 2 is the same as number 150, except
not.
they put a different number on it. Nothing else is different. And that alone is making this man say, I would have bought that bike even though I don't want to
Yeah.
pursue it anymore. Look at that, man. See how I'm telling you, marketing is great, even though they have terrible marketing in Indian. But marketing is great just by putting a number on something and making it limited. The lower the number, the more appealing to people. So that's
Now-
it's very interesting.
Now, the lower the number is appealing, the low number is appealing. However, then you start looking at price, and this is something else that I was talking to with a friend. You know, looking at these bikes now, this time around, we're getting into the 40s, 40 and the 50s. You know, we're getting close, and hopefully, there's going to be some way that they can stop going up, because you know,
Not gonna happen.
no,
gonna
I
happen.
kid you not, right? Because
Not gonna
you know,
happen.
Well, because everybody says, you know, it's inflation this, inflation that. Okay, great,
Yeah.
but nobody's paycheck is getting better. You know what I mean? Like businesses
No,
aren't paying.
don't say nobody.
Oh my god!
I keep telling you, everybody's not broke.
For the majority of people, their pay is not going up as
Mm-hmm.
inflation goes up. So it's the same thing that we were talking about previously with Harley. Like you're pricing yourself out of your base, because
Mm-hmm.
influence doesn't come from the top. Influence comes from the below and the middle. You know, those are the people that are going to be talking about the bike, riding the bike, doing things with the bike, enthusiasts with the bikes. So if you can't keep those people on the bikes, then you're going to run into a problem. So hopefully, there's some sort of leveling out that happens soon.
No,
Can't
it
be.
doesn't have to.
I don't know.
It can't be. I mean, that bike. So if I recall correctly, the list price of that, or what I saw on the tag, it said 46,000. Right. So in 5 years from now, you think they're still going to be 46,000? Nope. And there's nothing wrong with having that aspirational type, that aspirational type bike. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just like, I've talked before, Ford has a $100,000 Mustang. How many people are going to buy that? Not many. Not many.
I was just
People are
gonna
gonna see
say,
that
are we
one,
gonna-
oh man, I'm going to buy the $35,000 one, and I'm going to put a bunch of stickers on it and make it look like the $100,000 one, and be happy with it.
I was just gonna say, are we gonna talk about this again, Finesse? I mean,
No. All I'm saying-
nobody's getting priced out. You're still talking about top tier motorcycles. You could still get a Road Glide or a Street Glide or a Challenger or a Pursuit base model, right? And you're still in the
base
ecosystem.
I mean,
Right? 30,000.
I
30,000?
guess.
And if
I just-
30,000 is too much, then you need to get a different kind of motorcycle. But I told you before,
Or get a used
we're
one.
not going to we're not going to complain about the price of a toy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I get all of that, but all I'm saying is that
I don't think you do.
yeah, you're still at some point the price is going to get above what people are willing to pay, right? And the sooner that happens, the better it is going to be for everybody in the long run. Because then now you're going to readjust. Maybe they'll discontinue that model and maybe they'll start something else. Something that'll come in at a lower point. But to keep just raising, especially if your core people are getting older and riding less, and you're trying to get new people to come in, and then they already got to come in at some outrageous number, then you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have.
I don't like the
problems.
word outrageous. Nothing about the price is outrageous. Nothing about it is outrageous.
Okay,
Nothing.
well-
Absolutely nothing. I can go into Savannah Harley Davidson right now and buy a brand new Street Glide or a Road Glide for 30 grand, And it's not like I'm paying 30 grand at once. I'm financing the motorcycle. And most people are going to do that. If they really want the bike, they'll get that bike 96 months just so they can have a note that they can afford. And whether you think it's a good financial decision or not, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they really want to do. They're going to find a way to make it happen or buy a pre-owned bike. Like there's a bunch of
Yep.
options out there.
Yeah. I get all that. And
So my trip to to the Indian dealer, I also saw a Harley that apparently someone traded in, and it was the I don't know, it was one of the red CVOs. And when it first came out, I kept going to the local dealer in Memphis. I'm like, damn, I may buy this bike. And I went out of town and I was thinking about it. You know what? When I get back, I'm gonna buy that bike. I got back, went to the dealer, it was gone. It's the same bike sitting there in Savannah, and I'm like, oh, there it
Really?
is.
they had a
Yes. I
they
mean, I
had
don't know
a
if it was the same bike. It was the same color.
right.
It's the same color. And I'm
They
like,
had a
oh,
24 Street Glide
man,
up there too.
I
They
might
just sold.
buy that.
It was a CVO?
And I would pay less. Yes. Yeah, they got yep, it's a
Wow.
CBO sitting there on the floor. I'm like, man,
Road Glide?
and it's low miles. Hmm?
Road Glide?
Yes, Road Glide, of course.
Road Glide. What
It's
year?
Road Glide and No Glide. What was it? 23, maybe? Something like that. Maybe
23?
let me see, 25. It might have been 22. Might have been 22. I'm
Oh,
not, no,
okay.
it
So
wasn't
it's one of the
23. It's
ugly
probably a
ones.
22.
So it's one of
It's
the
one of the
ugly
ones I
ones.
loved. One of the ones I
Yes.
loved.
Like I said, they just had a 24 Street Glide up there too that somebody traded in.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. But the bottom line, though, but my point is that when I wanted that bike, several years ago, it was close to 50 grand. I can get it for a whole lot
Yeah.
less now. Exact same bike. And it's got a
Mm-hmm.
couple
Mm-hmm.
thousand miles on it, but who cares? Whoever had it took very good care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I can still get the same bike and save a whole lot of money. Somebody else took that depreciation hit. So my point is that even that Indian that's sitting there, that pretty green one, 3, 4 years from now, somebody's going to trade that bike in somewhere else, and whoever the second
Mm-hmm.
owner is going to get a hell of a deal on a nice
Oh yeah,
motorcycle.
Yeah.
that's on anything.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
And
my
so
point, though. So the price
yeah.
doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't listen. There's some people that, all of us are, in our 50s, and one of us close to 50s, still wet behind the ears. But there's some people in this stage in life, and maybe even a little bit further, that have never owned a brand new vehicle of any type. Never.
Hmm.
So, I got to tell you, man, when the new body style for Harley Davidson came out, there was a lot of hoopla about it, and I'm pretty sure Harley Davidson knew about this. Yeah, there's going to be some pushback. Of course, everything's new. People don't like change. Now you see these things everywhere,
Everywhere. Yep.
right? It grows on you, and nobody was complaining about the price of them. Clearly not, because everybody's buying them. So I hear what you're saying, Finesse, but nah, it doesn't hold agua, man. These prices are not outrageous. This is the price of a motorcycle, a touring motorcycle. You're not going to get a brand new touring motorcycle for less than 30 grand out the door.
Okay.
Unless, well, you know what? That's probably not true because technically, a Road King is a touring motorcycle. I think you can get a Road King for less than 30 grand out the door. I think. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
hell, if you get the police version, they're really cheap. 'Cause they got nothing on them.
Yeah.
Is it really cheap? And
That's
what is it? What is that
that's
price?
my,
What is
that's
that
my
bike brand new?
that's my opinion on all of them.
I think I paid 19 for mine, 18 or 19, something like that. Brand new.
Yeah, but it's not
Zero
it's,
miles.
Oh, that was brand new. You
Oh,
paid
yeah.
19 grand for that?
I don't think it was 19. I think it was 18.
Oh, get the
18 or
hell out of
19,
here!
somewhere around there. No joke.
Really?
Man, no, the police bikes stop, before.
Oh my bad. Oh my bad. Nodded off.
Oh,
there
we
for a
would
minute.
never do that to you for that.
We wouldn't. It's classless.
Yeah. Anyway, man.
Yeah,
Before
I'm
we
telling
get too
you.
far sideways, what I was going to talk about for I guess this will be our last topic, was Harley Davidson announced that they were going to get into MotoGP. Or well, they're not in MotoGP, but they'll be touring with MotoGP. And the first thing that I thought of, okay, classless. Look at him.
Well, notice we doze off quietly. Nobody's snoring.
Q was snoring. Anyways,
No, he
but
wasn't.
the first thing I thought of, because Mike told me that. So the first thing that I thought of was get ready for your bikes to change, because if you're doing that type of, if you're going on that type of tour, I mean, you would have to expect that those bikes that you currently ride, these are going to be one of the last iterations. You'll probably have maybe 2 or 3 more years of the way they are right now. But I would imagine that they're going to end up going liquid cooled. You're probably going to get rid of that dual suspension in the back. I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes coming. So
They're already liquid cooled.
fully liquid cooled. So that's one of the big things with when Indian Motorcycle switched the Roadmaster and the Chieftain to liquid cooled. It's because of the European market and the emissions. So in order to continue selling bikes over there, they had to make some changes, and they're just getting ahead. They're not required to do it now, but it's something that's coming in the future. So I would only assume that if Harley is selling bikes overseas, that they're going to be doing the same thing. So
How sure are you, if you had to put a percentage on it, how sure are you that next year Indian's going to have a new body style for the Pursuit and the Challenger and the Roadmaster now?
10%.
10%? That's it?
10%. Because they use the Challenger in racing, and all the development that goes into the aero and everything else with those bikes. I don't see them changing anytime soon. If anything, they'll discontinue the Challenger before they change it. Maybe.
Well,
I mean,
not just the Challenger, the Pursuit. I'm talking about, you said every 5 years there's supposed to be a change, right?
There was supposed to be. Everybody was expecting there to be a change this past year, and when that didn't happen, we ended up getting the 112, and then we ended up getting the safety systems. So, it's possible. I mean, it could be, but nothing that I've heard through my channels has said anything about a new design moving forward. There's still
Well, your channels, we can't go by your channels. You didn't even know number 2 was coming to Savannah.
I keep my ear to the ground. I haven't heard anything. And matter of fact, when I was talking to some people that I know in the company, I had asked them about the Ride Command, and they were, at least the impression that I got is that they were of the same mind that I was, that there's some issues with the Ride Command system. So until they fix those issues, there's no point in making it anything more than what it is. So get the software right, get everything working properly, and then we can start making it look pretty. And that's the impression that I got. And with the success of the Challenger and the King of the Baggers, and the way that these bikes are selling right now, because you're hard pressed to find a Challenger in a dealership, especially a 112. I mean, I had to get mine from another dealership. So the bike sells, and if you're
Have you ever seen the Indian truck show up at the dealership, right?
yeah.
So my question is, if you say you're hard pressed to get one, the question is how many are they getting? Because it'd be hard pressed if they're delivering them 2 at a time. How many are these dealerships actually getting?
So when
I know you don't know that, but
when they first dropped Savannah Indian, I believe they had 3, and they had those 3, and before they got off the truck, they were already sold.
yeah,
And Daytona, they had tons, obviously, because it's Daytona.
of course.
And then throughout the rest of the U.S., it's kind of been sprinkled about here and there. But when I go and talk to these dealers, Mall of Georgia, some of the other places as well, they're all saying that if they have a Challenger coming in, there's a name on it. So,
Yeah,
it just...
but it makes sense. So if I was somebody that didn't know any better, this would sound very impressive. But if you're only getting 1 or 2, and it's the new model with the new engine and the new tech, of course they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
Have a truck come in with 15 of them. How about that? What's the
Well,
I don't understand why they made it dripped.
Well, because that's not the only bike that the dealerships are selling. I mean, yes,
I
they're
know.
selling Challengers, but there's only so much room on a truck. So you got to get the Scouts, which are still the number 1 selling bike. So you got to get a lot of those. You got to get the Chieftains, which you see a lot of Chieftains in the dealerships. You see, and then the Roadmaster, so on and so forth. So there are allocations and I don't believe it to be something where they're just giving dealership onesie twosie. But you know, it just is what it is. Every time I've seen one, man, like I said, either it was a black 112, like the flat black, or somebody had a name attached to it.
What? How big are the trucks? Like, how many bikes can they get on a truck?
I don't.
Because
know.
Harley
It's-
Davidson's truck has
I mean,
two
if it's-
levels.
But if
yeah,
it's a new model and if there's high demand, it may take a while for supply to catch up with demand. It'll level out eventually.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll see. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm used to going. I'm telling you, I'm used to going into power sports, and we can have a ball dance in there and never hit a bike because there's nobody in there.
Yeah, but you go in there. Well, I mean that was like right around COVID, but now like the floor is like packed.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that long ago.
No,
COVID.
since after then they've been pretty stocked up. Now there was a lot of scouts in there. I think they still have a lot of scouts here.
I mean, to be fair, when the place is empty, that place being packed still doesn't mean you have a lot of motorcycles because it's tiny. So maybe that has something to do with it as well. They can't get but so many motorcycles. Where are they going to put them?
No,
Could have something to do with it.
They have another area in the back. There's,
Are you talking about
there's
the other
two-
warehouse?
Yeah, they have a small warehouse in the back.
Yeah.
So,
Where they keep the three wheelers.
the slingshots. Yep.
Yeah,
But-
the slingshots.
Again, like I said, man, I've been checking back and forth. Even me getting the bike that I got, like I said, I had to contact another dealership to get it, and they were hesitant to give it out because people were looking for the bike. You know what I mean? So it's not that people don't want it, which is weird to me because I see a lot of Chieftains and Roadmasters, the new Power Plus Chieftains and Roadmasters. I see those, but you don't see Challengers. So it's almost like they're trying to push the Chieftain and Roadmaster over the Challenger, just because it's the new thing. But I don't know
Well, yeah, but people are going to want what they want.
for sure. And the
So-
Challenger's hot.
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's hot because the only thing I have to go on is the fact that as soon as it's available, it's gone. But it's because they're dripping them out. So the real test is, like I remember when Savannah Harley Davidson, same thing. First, you were getting a little bit of CVOs here and there, and they didn't stay there long at all. Then they got a bunch of them, and then now you still see some sitting there. Sometimes that's how it happens. Especially if other dealers are, because that's how the dealerships work. You have it, they do exchanges. So
Yeah, and that's what happened with me. But
yeah,
I could have just went in there and ordered the bike and got it that way.
yeah.
But I just didn't want to wait, and the color that I was looking for wasn't that far away. So for me, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I didn't have to order the bike or anything like that. But when I talked to them at the dealership, they gave me a list that they had coming in, and none of them was the color that I wanted. So again, like I said, I've seen availability. It's just that when they get there, either somebody's ordering while it's on the truck, or somebody picks it up when it gets to the shop. So
I believe it, man. I mean, I believe it. It's a new engine, it's new tech, and people want new. Especially something like that, something that no other bike has. The lane spot. That's
Exclusive,
so
yeah.
it makes sense. It makes sense. It's. Oh, so by the way, Anita and I would, same route. We were driving to Harley Davidson so I can go pick up Angel. And when we got to that traffic circle, Anita and I renamed that traffic circle. And that traffic circle is named Oscar's Circle. That's it. That's Oscar's Circle.
yeah, we supposed to be
But I
talking
will
about
say-
Harley going to MotoGP.
I will say that in a short period of time, Oscar getting pulled over on his pursuit, and now this accident. Forget about the accident. Just getting pulled over, I noticed him riding differently. And so, if people want to know the significance of a speeding summons, I'm letting you know it's not going to last forever, but for a certain period of time, it's going to make you rethink about how fast you're going. So there's a significance behind it. It's not just about the monetary part of it for the the jurisdiction.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
also to put in your mind, slow down.
But I wasn't. So they got me.
You
for
weren't what?
speeding.
You weren't speeding?
No, hold on. They got me for speeding, right? But I had a car behind me, a car on the side of me. There was two cars in front of me, and a motorcycle.
Yeah.
and they're throwing rocks up. So I normally don't travel on Jimmy DeLoach for that reason, because a lot of the trucks and things going up there and debris and all this other crap. So after taking a few pieces to the face, I was like, okay, I need to get out of here. So as soon as I get out and around the traffic, and I get my little gap so I can slow down, this is when the guy is coming onto the road. So was I speeding? Yes, but it wasn't like I was traveling at that speed. It wasn't like I didn't have the cruise control set. I was literally just getting to a safer spot. At least.
Please rewind that. When you edit this, rewind that. Was I speeding? Yes. I
Yeah.
wasn't going that fast. I wasn't
Right.
going that
End of
speed.
the argument.
No, but what I'm saying is it wasn't like I was just cruising beyond the speed limit. I was actually doing the speed limit. I just had to get around out of the traffic to a safer spot, and then I started.
So
to
you
slow
got a
down.
ticket for going the speed limit?
No,
I said he was speeding.
Look, I'm not arguing the ticket or debating whether I got one or not. I'm just simply saying that with context, it's not like I was out on the road just hauling ass. I got that way to get to a safer spot, and then I slowed back down. So it is what
So
it is.
Mike, I felt so bad for Finesse when he was telling me this because, again, I did this for a living. I wrote people speeding summonses for a living, and everything he said to me, I was just like, doesn't mean a damn thing, Finesse. It doesn't mean a damn, it doesn't matter if you weren't hightailing it the whole way. It only matters if you were hightailing it in
At
that
that
radar
moment.
zone of influence. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
And speeding up to get away from something, I'm not going to say it's never relevant, but in so many cases where people say they do that, slowing down does
Also
the same
slow
thing.
down.
It accomplishes the same thing, especially when it's somebody that people say they're concerned
Necessarily.
about. I'd rather
Well-
be behind them than in front of them, unless I'm going to be way in front of them. But to be way in front of them, I have to be really, really speeding. So yeah, I felt bad. Did you talk about the zone? Did you add? Hold up. You said something about. What did you
Oh.
say the judge said?
Yeah. So when I went to court, because court was today. I was workshopping my story, trying to get everything down, what happened, this, that, and the other. And right before anything starts, he's like, "Look, got a lot of people in here. So if you are here just for a speeding ticket, you'll have what was it? What do you get? Like what do they call it? I don't know what they call it. A deal. They make a deal, right? And he's like, we'll just get you outside of conditions or some safe conditions or something like that. Some term or whatever, and it'll be 350 and no points. So I was like, sounds good to me. So I raised my hand, guilty, 350, no points. But on the flip side of that, the ticket itself was like 120 something bucks and 2 points. So
Yeah.
the 2 points is really what gets it. And then not only that, the courthouse that I went to, they don't do trials or anything there. You have to schedule it later at another time to go somewhere else to do it. And I was like, come on, man. This is a small little court. So I was like, all right, I'll just do that. I mean, you're right. I do. My driving has changed. I do find
now.
myself. Yeah, I do find myself going a bit slower. But
Yeah.
in general, though, I'm not hauling ass all across town.
Yeah.
So, and I can count on my hand how many times I've had a ticket in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like in a short period of time. So
Yeah.
it
I got to
is
tell
what it
you,
is.
it's obviously if you with anything in life, if it's in your environment, you're accustomed to it, and you don't see a problem with it. I see a big problem with that make a deal crap. They don't do that in New York City, but they do it in upstate New York, where you can meet outside the courtroom with the cop that wrote you the ticket, and instead of giving you the ticket they already gave you the ticket. Instead of going through with what they wrote you the ticket for, they'll make it something else to remove the points just so you can pay. And people hear that and go, yeah, great, I'll do that. It just seems so unethical to me because what you pulled me over for was speeding. What you wrote me a summons for was speeding at a specific speed, disobeying a specific speed limit. And once you put it on that piece of paper, that's like, you may as well be swearing to it, right? And so to go in there and change it just for a monetary exchange and because I don't want points, of course I'm going to agree to it. I have a huge problem with that. Let's go to court. Let me testify to it, because for 2 points, a defensive driver's course, which you could do online, will take care of the 2 points.
Yeah.
I would afford that just to fight it, especially if it's only 100 and something bucks.
So,
But
so
I just don't. This is not about you.
Yeah,
It's
I
about
got
the
it.
system. I don't like it.
I think there has to be context, just like in my situation. So for and it's not like they don't have your record there in front of you, because if you had other things, you were not afforded that opportunity. It was only if you were in there for that one instance and you didn't have other things on your record. Okay.
Yeah.
So while I understand kind of where you're coming from, but it just can't be. I don't think you can have something where it's so cut and dry, where you can't understand or see what's happening. Now, if I'd have got
What do you mean?
if I'd have got what I'm saying is just the context. So if I'd have got the summons for speeding, and then a week later I got another summons for speeding, I mean, why would you give me that opportunity? And the judge wasn't doing that.
What opportunity?
To pay the $300 and no points to do.
They still would have gave it to you. They still would have gave it to you.
No, because there was you only had one infraction. If you had one infraction, that's what it was. It was one infraction, and you were under. I guess I didn't give you all the information, but it was one infraction and under 15 miles an hour over.
Okay, so it's not egregious.
Right,
Oh, okay.
right. It was nothing crazy. So
Yeah.
you were able to have that deal done for you, which to me I understand and makes sense, because you got to get a lawyer and then all these other resources that are costing.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
because if I was to go to trial, if I was to take it to trial, there would have to be a lawyer. I would have the opportunity to have my lawyer. They would have like
No.
all this other crap.
This ain't a criminal trial. It's traffic court. You don't
Yeah,
need a
yeah.
lawyer, man. I could have came there.
Well, the
I could have
guy-
been your damn.
Well, I know, but the judge was saying that they would have. If he said if we do this, you would have the adjudicator, whoever that was. You'd have the officer there, and all of these other things. And I was like, to me, it's cheaper, not only for the state, but it's cheaper for the county, but it's cheaper for the individual to go through that process. And I get what you're saying, because where do you draw the line? But I think
Yeah.
that they made it fairly clear. If it was a minor infraction, that you would have this deal, as opposed to 20 miles over the limit, or speeding past the school bus, or doing some crazy crap, getting somebody, whatever. So that's just my 2 cents on it. But I understand.
The reason I have a problem with it is a lot of people don't know the law, and a lot of people are intimidated by the law, or especially in that setting that they're not usually in. And so people, they play on that, in my opinion. They're going to play on your intimidation, play on your ignorance. And if I offer you this deal that sounds so sweet,
Yeah.
it could be a situation where you clearly are not guilty, but just to get past what you're intimidated by, you'll pay to get out of that. And that's my problem. If you wrote me a ticket for that, that's what traffic court is all about, to give me a chance to present my case, present my evidence, and then let it go from there. Because a lot of times when I went to traffic court, people would say whatever they're going to say. First, I say my whole spiel. And even if they have an attorney, I learned over the years, didn't take years, but you go to traffic court, you testify about the summons that you wrote. And if they have an attorney, the attorney would be like, Your Honor, I move for a dismissal because he didn't say this or he didn't say that. Boom, it's dismissed. And then I started learning I have to add to my testimony. And once I get to a rock solid testimony, I'm not losing. It doesn't matter. But sometimes, depends on what the case is and what you have to say. It's in the judge's discretion to say, well, all right, officer, what's your tolerance? Meaning, for me to write you a speeding ticket, even if I'm using a radar gun or a laser, I first have to estimate your speed. And I'm trained to estimate the speed of a moving vehicle plus or minus 5 miles per hour. That's my tolerance. And sometimes that 5 miles per hour can bring you from 4 points to 2 points. It all depends on what the summons was written at. So all of these things can factor in by us having a conversation about it, rather than me just saying I'm guilty so I can get out of there. Making deals, just, it's not like a plea bargain. The plea bargain is you're pleading guilty I guess it is. It's almost like a plea bargain.
I don't. I don't. I don't want to be in court.
Exactly. What do you think, Mike?
Um, I don't know. It seems like some small municipalities, use speeding tickets as a way to raise revenue, and I don't know. I'm not. I haven't had a speeding ticket in a while, thank God. But
Me either.
yeah, I mean, I get it. I can see both sides of the argument, but I mean, yeah, if you get put in that position, yeah, pay. I'll pay. Just get me out of this mess. I'm sick of being here. I don't want to be in court. I don't want to deal with this crap. $300. It's not going to sink my ship. I'll live.
Exactly. And
But
that's
at the end of the day, they're wearing people out with that crap. So
I'm
I don't
glad you
know.
said that. Because I know that's the thing most people are going to do. They just don't want to be bothered with it. I don't get any points, and most people are going to say, "I know I was speeding," So what's the point? And you're right. If you know you were speeding, yeah, it's a sweet deal. Why not pay the money? And next time you'll just pay more attention because you ain't gonna slow down. Finesse slow down a little bit. Um,
Bro, look,
Have you
man.
slowed down, Finesse?
Uh,
Have you slowed down?
yeah,
Yes.
yes. Look, man. I think when you have things like that, I think it. I want to say it makes interactions better, or it makes you feel better. I think if there was more, I get if there was a leniency, reasonable leniency in certain situations, then I think overall things will be better. Because I've never had to get in a confrontation with a police officer. Thank God, I've never had to do anything confrontational with those type of folks because I typically try to do everything, keep my hands visible, all of these things. But when you're in the situations like that with authority, I mean, you already know you're at the bottom, right? You already know you're not in charge, and for them to just tack on to that, I think it would make it worse. Because just like now, I could be, if they'd have said, no way, you're gonna pay your whatever and have your 2 points, I'm not hearing it, blah blah blah. Now there's gonna be some resentment, not from me per se, but someone could feel resentment for that and be like, oh, they're just doing this as wrong as they are, right? Y'all, they're picking on me, they're doing this, they're doing that, as opposed to them, look, you messed up, you made a mistake. We all make mistakes. It's gonna cost you. Make sure you don't do it again. That
That's
I
the way
think
it
is
should
okay.
be.
Yeah, I mean that's the
but
way I
that's
That's
am.
the
not
way it
what
should be.
That's the way I am with my
that's
kids.
not what happened. We're not talking about your interaction with the police officer. We're talking about what's happening in court.
Right.
And they can't tell you just pay your 2 points. You don't get a no. They can't do that. If you want a day in court, then that's your right. You're going to get it. But they also don't want to have the cop having to come up for patrol and go to court. So all of this is done to try to convenience them. What is the first thing he said? It's crowded here today, so here's what we're going to do. They're trying to convenience themselves, and
Yeah.
it's like
But
anything else.
in my
All that
opinion,
glitters ain't gold.
yeah, in my opinion, they're conveniencing me as well. I had to pay,
Not financially, they're
extra.
not.
Well, I had to pay extra in order not to go through this process. And I was thinking about that afterwards. And I was like, man, if I was like some 16, 17-year-old kid, didn't have a job, whatever the case may be, and they give me that $300 option, that might not be something for me. But, me being where I am. So, and that was kind of going through my head. But,
Yeah.
it just, I
Well,
I think it's good. And
the only
way-
reason I wanted, I'm sorry, Finesse. The only reason I wanted him to fight this, Mike, is because you heard his story, right? Now, if his story is legitimate, according to him, there's only 3 lanes, right?
two.
There's 2 lanes on Jimmy Deluge.
Yep.
Okay, 2 lanes, and you told me it's 25 vehicles around you. Explain, make that make sense.
25.
What
There's
lane
a
are you
view-
in?
I'm in the left lane. There's a car behind me.
Busted.
No, there's a car directly behind me. There's a car beside that car. There's a car beside me. There's a
Okay.
motorcycle in front of me, and then there's a car in front of that motorcycle. So
Okay.
I'm here, and we had been traveling on this road for. I was coming off of hell, I don't know what road that was.
When you get to where the cop was, because you about to talk to me like a woman. When you get to where the cop was, what's your position in relation to these other vehicles around you?
I was at that time. I was at the right lane, and I was in front of all the traffic because I got around and got through, and then I was in the process of slowing down because when he pulled me over, he's like, "Oh, well, I got you at whatever it was," and he's like, "But you were slowing down by the time you passed me," and I was like, "Yes," because I got around traffic and I started to slow down.
So when you got to this cop, now you're the lead vehicle, correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. So maybe he should have paid because initially when he told me this story, in my brain, based on what he's telling me, he's surrounded by cars. So that's why I thought it was at least 3 lanes.
Oh no.
Right. But if it's 2 lanes, you're in the left lane, and then by the time you get to this cop, now you're in the right lane to get past these guys, and because you're accelerating, bam, that's where this guy gets you.
Right.
But what I was telling Finesse is, if all of these cars are around you, if the guy's using a laser, then it doesn't matter how many people are around you. He could put the red dot right on your vehicle. But he was using a radar, a moving radar. And with radar, there's a zone of influence. Mm-hmm. And if it's using a dual stalker, it could do 2 different vehicles. But Finesse's initial story was it was a convoy.
No, I told you exactly what I told you. I was surrounded by vehicles. Once I got a lane open, I got around, sped up, and got in front.
Okay.
And as soon as I sped up and got in front, that's when he was coming on. And like I said, man, I was just, and he was sitting there telling me this, and I told him that too. I was like, I was just trying
prosecution
to get
rests.
Yeah,
prosecution rests.
I was trying to get around the traffic, and he gave me some dumb look. So I was just like, okay, well, that's it.
Listen, that happens. I've pulled over a ton of people that just happen to get into the gas to get around somebody, and it's just wrong place, wrong time. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. So whatever.
Yeah. So like I said, the $300, I'm good with it.
350.
350. Yeah, 350. Yeah, I'm good with it. Man. And the same,
right.
like,
and he was using Waze. He was using Waze.
Yeah. Well, because the cop was just coming on, so nobody's.
Yeah.
No early warning, huh?
Yeah. But anyway, so as far as HD getting into MotoGP, what do you guys think?
I don't care about racing, dude. I am a long.
I think that
it's crazy. It's crazy. You guys don't care about racing.
But you guys
like
care about comfort.
You guys like your CVO ST. You guys like the new CVO or the new bikes. But all of that is coming from racing. So it's just crazy to me that you guys are just that less interested in the
coming from racing. What do you mean it's coming from racing? I don't agree with that.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't agree with that? That 131? Where do you think they did the testing at?
Well, my bike doesn't have a 131, and I don't have an ST. I have a CVO.
Yeah,
mine is a 121.
Right, but you've got inverted forks. You've got Brembo brakes. You've got tuned suspension.
I've had Brembo brakes.
Are
you hearing yourself? Are you hearing yourself?
You've got race modes.
Just because you like the components of something on your bike, that means you have to like what inspired it? No.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
I don't know that it inspired. It's just I don't know. It's just what they chose to put on it. Who cares?
They market these
Harley
bikes.
Davidson makes touring motorcycles. All of these are touring bikes.
They market them as performance baggers.
Mm-hmm. Well, the ST is a performance bagger. The ST is a performance bagger.
Right. Okay, fine. But either way, all of that stuff stems from racing. All of the things
Who cares?
All of the things that make your bike comfortable come from racing.
You know what I love?
And you could take all of those racing bikes. You could take Indian's winning bike and Harley's last winning bike, whatever that was, and take a stock Hayabusa off the dealership showroom and smoke both of them. I just don't see these big, gigantic baggers as being fast. I don't know, they accelerate well for a big, heavy bike, but that's not their purpose in life.
Mike,
their
you're saying
purpose
the
in life
same thing.
Touring. Is it comfortable? Yes. Can it go the long distance? Yes. Then it's good. Now, can you accelerate past people in traffic? Perfect. Racetrack, touring bike. It's a gimmick.
This is the same thing people were saying about the CVO RR, and it didn't make sense. Oh, you can get a Hayabusa if it's much cheaper and blah blah blah.
That's true.
Listen, it doesn't make sense because it's different classes. It's just like track. They got trucks that race, right? I'm talking about like tractor trailer trucks. Now,
I know, and
clearly,
it's silly.
you
It's,
can get
it's
any car on the street probably will beat them, but that's not the point. It's in that class who's going to be the fastest. And I do get that, because it's a touring bike, that's why it's different. That's why it's appealing, to watch these bikes going that fast and leaning that much. Or, because even though it's light, it's still way heavier than a sport bike doing it, right? So I get that. But
167 miles an hour.
yeah, I just love watching Finesse. He's trying so hard, Mike, to get us to care about this stuff.
No,
We just
look,
don't.
go to. I'm telling you, I promise you, you go to a race, and it is gonna be, it's gonna be good. There's no way you're not gonna like it.
I mean, I've been to
Guaranteed.
races before. I'm just, I'm not, I just
Everybody's
can't
not into
sit
it,
here
man.
and say
A King of the Bag
that I'm
race?
into racing. I've been to a motorcycle race and I've been to a bunch of car races.
It's different,
But
it's different.
racing ain't my thing. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm into motorcycles because of touring. Talk to me.
Why can't you
about
accept
these
that,
bikes.
Oscar? Why can't you accept that, Oscar?
I accept nothing.
I mean, listen. I know for a fact if I went to a King of the Baggers race, I would enjoy it. I know I would, but it's not. It's just not something I'm really into. My time is so limited that it's got to be something I'm really interested in, and I'm not gonna say I'll never do it because I mean, if I'm in Daytona and I have time and it's right there, yeah, why not? But usually, if I got to choose between watching these bikes go around the track or talking to my subscribers and people like that, I choose the latter, because, obviously it's not that high on my priority list. But of course, you love it. You ride there, you get up early in the morning and
Look,
you're in the rain, all kind of stuff, and you do some video and
Look,
hopefully you get a good spot on the track. And
it's like okra.
I know it's fun.
It's like okra, right? Before I
No.
tried okra, I was
Okra's
like, how
disgusting.
I was like, how do you
Oh.
eat that nasty stuff? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And then I had some, and I was like, man, this ain't bad. You know what I'm saying?
Disgusting.
Well, I tell you what.
So you don't
if
know
I
what
ever
you
get
don't know.
captured, if I get captured by the enemy, and they put a plate of okra in front of me and says, "Talk or eat the okra," I'm going to talk. Okra is disgusting.
Look,
If
man,
they sit
Oscar,
me in
you
front of
would've-
a
I was- you
television
can-
and force me to watch racing, all right, I'll talk. Just
you
turn
can
it off.
substitute okra for anything that you have not done yet.
Oscar, you are the king of terrible analogies.
I'm telling you.
No, you just take anything that you have not tried yet, and then you try it. You never know. You might like it. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, food is one thing because now we're talking about your palate. But if the man's not into racing, he ain't into it. You ain't gonna convince him to like it. He don't like. He's not into it.
He might not
See,
be.
look at that.
He might not be into Lamborghinis, but then he gets one and has a good time. He'll be like, "Oh, I got to get me a Lamborghini."
Now he'll be into a Lamborghini.
Would he?
Oh yeah, I love cars.
They got all that
No
tech
doubt.
that he likes. All the
But
technology.
if you're talking about putting a car on a racetrack and driving around in circles, I'm like,
all right.
I don't see the appeal.
You've never. I don't like circles either because NASCAR to me is boring. And the
What?
Daytona.
How could you not like NASCAR?
The
Are you
Daytona
crazy?
race, the King of the Baggers Daytona race, in my opinion, is not the greatest race in my opinion because it's like a big circle and then you got some lines. So I understand. I get where you're coming from. It's not going to be appealing everywhere, but I mean,
I probably
this
would like
was
that
funny.
more. I probably would like that
I
more.
did.
Straightaways and then turns straightaways because then you can get that bike up to as fast as it can possibly go, rather than having to keep slow down to make a turn.
just like you say, it doesn't take any skill to get the bike to go fast in a straight line.
Doesn't matter.
It's the turns that matter. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I say that all the time. At speed
See, what was
and
there?
going slow, but more. You know how many times I lose people in turns because they slow down too much? Because oh crap, a turn. That's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak.
Trying to think of the name of the school, the Champ Riding School I did this
Yeah.
past summer. Jogo and I went there, and everyone had sport bikes except for Joe and I. We were there on our Harleys, and So part of the chat riding school, they put you on a racetrack. Now, Mike, I'd never been on a racetrack before, and I'm on my CVO right behind all of these sport bikes, and I've got my cup holder and my phone holder.
Yeah.
I was ready to put my feet on the highway pegs going around.
You know, it's funny you say you had never been on a track before. Crystal had never been on a track before. And this was her first time getting on the track up at Road Atlanta. And she scared the crap. Man, look, this woman, she's 100 miles an hour. Usually when we're riding, I got to be in front to keep her to go slow, okay? So we are on this track, and she's in front of me, and I'm just like, oh, come on. So we get to the technical parts of the track, and she is hauling. I'm slowing down to get, maybe she's looking in her mirror. She's like, oh, well, he's slowing down. Maybe I should slow down. No, she's just charging right in. Next thing you know, she's sliding the rear wheel around. I was like, oh, my God. Man, I've only been scared with her riding twice. Once, the first time when she had that Super Chief and she went into the dirt. The second time was at that track when she was hauling ass through that turn. I was like, oh my God. And then when we stopped and I'm telling her about it, she's like, well, I didn't go down. I was like, God, yeah, right. You didn't go down. Next time I'm going to stay back and you just go, you go. Because I can't.
I can see the appeal of going around a track because there are no obstacles in the way. You don't have to worry about cars
Or
cutting you
police.
off. Or police or anything. Go as fast as your machine and your skills will allow you to go. But
I was dodging a lot of Harleys.
touring. Well, that's what
Well,
you had to do that day.
I mean, so when I went, well, actually, we went to two places. Arizona, we were on a racetrack, and in Vegas for the STs, for the CVO ST. Arizona was the regular ST. And yeah, I got to tell you, man, that track, it's all about the track, man, because then you could just open these damn bikes up. I mean, boom, open it up, hit. So I appreciate a track too, but not with a bunch of, like, I don't know how they, Finesse, I don't know how you're doing it. Like, I saw some things, I think it was in Daytona, where there's a crap load of people on the track. And then people were passing people at high speeds. No, thank you.
Yeah, so this time
No,
around,
thank you.
the first time we did Road Atlanta, there weren't that many people. And they gave us a briefing and gave us some rules. This time around, there was a crap ton of bikes, and nobody said anything. They would just go. But the slower people did stay to the right, and everybody else that wanted to go was on the left. And you really didn't have to worry about it until you got on that back straight. But other than that, I mean, it was, everybody kind of gave space. So, but yes,
So
it
you
was still
enjoyed yourself?
nerve-wracking. Oh, I enjoyed myself. It was still nerve-wracking to a point, but it was still a good time. I haven't even put that video out yet.
So I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Mike, hold up. He said you haven't done a video since you've been here, but you've done a video. So is that something old that you had? I saw a video that
video
you
you
just
talking
put out.
about?
You put out a video talking about
What he
your
sounds
voice.
like. Yeah.
Where was that done?
Oh, my voice. Oh, yeah. No, that was, I recorded that in Memphis.
That's what I thought.
think.
Okay. So it was
he
an old
has not.
recording.
So
Yeah,
he
but
has
just
not.
watched it.
He has not done a video here.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, he said
I haven't
that.
done a
He
video
said
in a
he
couple of weeks.
That's jacked up.
No,
man.
it's been a couple of weeks. Every time I think I'm going to sit down and do one, I decided to take a nap instead. I'm like, do I want to make a video or take a nap?
Hey, let me know, man, so I can be relaxing in the background of your video. You know what I'm saying? I just
Chilling, huh?
So, in his defense, you just moved into a new house. I mean, it's a million things to do. So, like get a television. Like,
yeah.
there's
I
so
was
many
about to
things
say
to
get
do.
a TV. wait, look, hold on. Who here does not travel with a TV? That's what I want to know. Who does not
Yeah,
travel?
like-
That's one of the
Why
only.
didn't you put one in one of the
Travel
cars?
with a television. I've never traveled with a television. What do you
No,
mean?
you moved here. Why didn't you take one of the televisions and put them in your vehicle? Like, I thought you told me there's certain things I'm going to bring, and I just assumed one of them had to be a television.
Man,
Honestly, I don't watch a lot of television. I watch my iPad. I'll watch Netflix or whatever on my laptop. And that's
You-
about it.
you
I
and
mean,
Iris
if
don't have
I'm
a show?
watching television, I'm going to crash in my recliner. I'll put something on and I fall asleep. Or I'm watching sports. That's what I watch on television. If it's just YouTube, Netflix, or whatever, that's on my laptop.
you and Iris don't have a show that you guys watch?
Where is Iris? She
She's in
home?
California. Yeah, she's in
Dang.
California.
Both of y'all. Both of y'all are unsupervised. Oh man!
Dang.
Yeah,
I
California.
mean, I should have known. See, listen. There's always cues, not you, Q, but there's always cues of when both of yous are unsupervised. There's certain things that Oscar will say and do that lets me know he's unsupervised, and same thing with Mike. And with Mike, so you guys don't know, but what Finesse did was he sent us what he was cooking tonight, and Finesse thought he was joking, but Mike was like, "What time should I be there?"
I didn't know Iris was gone.
His ass would have been there, man. He would have been there.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey,
come on. I've been like, all right.
Them ribs were good, man. It was what did I say it was? It was
One with applesauce and one without.
oh no, yeah, it was a bourbon apple sauce. Yes. Oh, barbecue
Man.
sauce. Yes.
And so
Mike, what was
guys,
for
you just
dinner
need to
tonight,
understand that Oscar is a grill master. This man loves to cook, and he's always sending pictures of what he's grilling or cooking
Yeah.
or whatever, and looks delicious. And then Robert will follow it up by sending us a picture of some charcoal piece of something or
A
another,
leather shoe.
leather shoe with some A1 steak sauce on it.
All
No
I see-
A1 steak sauce.
All I see is old girl sawing on that table with that.
Yeah.
Robert
That-
has to
that-
put on
that-
safety glasses when he cooks a steak.
That was
He
a
needs
long.
a chainsaw.
That was a Longhorn steak. They messed that one up. It's never that bad. That was bad. But that's what happens when you go get your steak at 3 p.m. I guess.
Yeah, that's the B team for sure.
And
No,
what they're referring
no,
to.
that's what
they're
happens when you
referring
order
to-
your steak well done. You get well done, they find the worst looking steak they can find because you're not going to know the difference. They're like, no, don't waste the good steaks on him.
Yeah, that little one curled up in the corner.
Yeah, give him that one. Yeah, just put on a
I
grill,
like
go
my
find
listen.
something
I
else
like
to
my
do.
food. I like my meat dead, and these guys. Well, Mike's not as bad as Oscar. You know, Oscar wants it still like moving a little bit like this.
Man,
You know, it's like,
medium.
all right, I'll take that one. And take a bite out of it.
Medium.
Every time.
Medium. That's how I get mine. Medium.
Every time I go to Rooster
Not
Chris,
medium rare.
And I
Although I
get a
have
well
had
done
medium
steak.
rare once.
it's juicy, it's delicious, and it's cooked all the way through. It's perfect done. And those steaks come out on a 500-degree plate. So, or if I go to, there's another steak place down there. I get a well done steak, always good. You go to some place that don't really know how to cook a steak, yeah, they're gonna screw it up. So I understand. I tried it. It's a mental thing. I tried to get a medium plus, and they screwed that up. It was too red. I said, you know what? Screw it. Well done, please. Listen,
I have
a well
no-
done
I
steak
have
to
no
me
words.
is like
I have no
MotoGP
words.
to him. A well done steak to me is like King of the Baggers to Oscar. So, yeah, it is what it is. We all like what we like. I don't want no red meat.
Yep.
I don't want it red. I want it cooked.
I have no words. I have no words.
I don't want it bleeding. I don't want it bleeding. You could have you
I
ever
stick
gotten a
my-
ticket from?
I-
Go ahead.
I put a fork in my steak. I want it to go ouch.
We can talk off when we're done.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have
Okay.
no idea. I'm not sure I want to know. I don't have nightmares.
We'll talk about it offline. Or
Dang.
we can talk about it now and just give him more work editing it out.
Negative. Matter of fact, we're gonna go ahead and cut from this one right now. And
Yeah,
since he's such a trash talker, he's gonna take us out today.
So first of all, there has been no validity to this whole trash talking thing. So, but anyway, I'll let them try to come up with some stuff to talk to you guys about later. Again, I apologize for the absence, but the plan is for us to be back. We all got stuff going on, but we can certainly find some time to take out to make a video, talk to each other like we always do, and share with you guys. So I want to thank you guys for watching us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the like button and hit the comment section too, guys, because reading the comments is always fun. And I know I appreciate you, and these guys do as well. I appreciate working with you guys too, always. That's it, man. There we go. Here we go. Look at there it is. There it is.
And it is substantiated. It's substantiated with these two people right here.